Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the biggest scam ever. Jordan Belfort, author of Way of the Wolf, the original Wolf on Wall Street. Big smile. How are you?
Doing good, thanks.
OK, now that's a rash statement. Bitcoin is a huge scam.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that it's not Bitcoin itself, it's what's happened to it. The trading of Bitcoin, the fever right now, it's a fever pitch, basically. People all over the world who know nothing about what they're buying are just operating with the greater fool theory, meaning if there's someone more foolish than me that will buy it at a higher price, then it's a great buy where it is. And there's no value. It's just pure speculation. And there's promoters out there, salespeople, who are pumping this up in boiler room operations, and they're promising people the world just buy this. And even worse, the other ones that are following, the imitators are following Bitcoin that are very cheap still.
Because there are others that are, they're called initial coin offerings, ICOs, OK?
So
they're different from Bitcoin.
So and here's why they're more dangerous, because Bitcoin now is $5,000-$6,000, right? So for it to go to 10,000, it's got to double. Well, the ones that are really cheap, they can go up 500, 600, 700%. You get it because they're so cheap, and people are going to just get, so they collapse down. It's going to get slaughtered. So eventually, regulation is going to have to come in a massive way. And when it does, or a certain country like the U.S. passes a law that limits the ability to citizens to buy or own, it will just crash. So that's my concern.
OK, can you answer with this simple question? If I buy a Bitcoin, I put my dollars, literally my dollars in, the value of Bitcoin goes up. Can I then cash it in for dollars and get the dollars back? Can I do that? I can do that.
Yeah. Yes, through a mechanism, we have to go through an exchange. Listen, I'm not an expert on I don't own any. I'm not long or short, so I'm not saying this because I want it to go down, right? So I'm really independent. I'm watching what's happening right now, and it reminds me exactly of 2005, 2006 in the mortgage market when you're getting your hair cut, and your haircutter says, oh, I also sell mortgages now, or I'm flipping. It's like everybody and their grandma became involved in real estate mortgages. That's what's happening with Bitcoin. And it's not at the top yet, so it could go higher for all I know, but in the end, after enough people have bought and you can't support the bubble, it's going to crash so hard and fast. And here, unlike real estate, where there's some real value, there is no Bitcoin's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it the next day. So that number is going to be, who knows what, but it'll be a lot lower than it is right now.
That's very interesting. I've got one more for you. Would you just check out this headline? It's from US News and World Report. It says, why are we still listening to Jordan Belfort?
I don't know.
Now, I've not read the article, but you want to answer the question?
I don't know. My wife listens to me. At least you'll listen to me. So, listen, I mean, when it comes to things that are related to just business in general, I think I have pretty good insight. I've been on both sides of the fence here. I've done things right. I've done things wrong. And also, you know, when I was doing things wrong, as bad as they were, you know, wasn't a Bernie Madoff thing where I was just like, it was an illusion. My firm was real. I had a real business. I got greedy and made mistakes. And I think hopefully I've learned from that. And my goal now is to help other people.
Were you pump and dump?
Yes.
That's what you were doing?
Correct.
Well, that's, I mean,
exactly.
You could make the accusation that people who are selling these new Bitcoins are doing the same thing.
Someone asked me, said, is it a Ponzi scheme? I said, it's not a Ponzi scheme. It's a classic pump and dump. It's a classic pump and dump where you create something. I know exactly how I don't want to say how you'd say, I know how you would sell this. Is very easy, right? You'd call people up and say, heck, I'm not going to say what, right? And get people excited. They all start to buy this. And there's two parts to a manipulation. One is to create demand. The second part, which people don't really focus on, is withholding supply. So they'll leak a little bit out into the marketplace so it can go very up. And then once it really starts to, then they release the big chunk out at the top, and then it collapses. So what's going on right now is when someone does an ICO, they'll put, I promise you this is happening, they'll take a large portion of the ICO and put it into friendly hands, who are really nominees for themselves. They'll put some out there enough to create some energy in the marketplace where trades back and forth, goes up because there's not a lot out there, so limited supply. Then once it really starts to hit that logarithmic growth phase, they unleash into the market, they make their money, and they walk away.
1 second. Herb London, would you ever touch a Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole?
Yes, I would.
You would?
I would, and the reason why I would is because there are corporate transactions that exist within a narrow framework. Within the narrow framework of those corporations, where in fact you can recognize the basic value, it makes sense. And there are a lot of transactions that are now taking place with Bitcoins. Now, I think that Jordan is correct. If you're talking about the average consumer, I don't think it makes much sense. But if you're talking about the kind of transactions that now exist in the corporate world, this, in fact, introduces a degree of transparency that very often does not exist. If I were to ask you about transparency, for example, in the hedge fund world, it's rather arcane. You would be very, very...
So, good point. So here's my last one. The point is, he's talking about a dark market. Anytime there's a dark market, there's always going to be problems when there's not transparency. And again, my point is not that the fundamental idea of a cryptocurrency is bad. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I do too.
What's run amok right now is there's people using it as it's turned to speculation, and people are going to get destroyed. Not sophisticated players who are in and out, but people who are looking to make their fortune, put their life savings into Bitcoin or the next ICO, think it's going to run up because someone told them so, and they're the last people on the deal team. As always, listen, if you want to go start with tulips, you can go back to tulips. It's the same thing all over again.
Right.
Good debate, and it ain't over, and we'll probably continue it right here. Jordan Belfort, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.